G'day, Jimmy from Hairy Campers. A couple of things I want to talk to you about today. Got LD. LD's trying to muscle in on the camera work. I'll bring him up here so everybody can have a look at LD. He's part of the family, he likes to run around everywhere. Bit of a shout out to Buck. I enjoyed your cook up the other night, Buck. Even the I mainly enjoyed the donuts. They were fabulous. We're going to do them with the grandkids. The Bush Donuts, they're great. They're a great bit of gear. But anyhow, for tonight, a couple of things tonight, campers. We've got one camp oven, very heavy and it's very big. That's one. Now you can probably cook everything in that, and you hop down for a minute, LD. You go over there. You can probably cook everything in that you want to cook. Not a problem with that. You can probably put veggies in there with your meat too, but you've got two different things that cook at two different levels. So you've got the meat that cooks slower than what the veggies do, and sometimes the veggies cook slower than what the meat do. Now, really, at the end of the day, it's a great bit of gear. Now, I use heat beads, mainly because I haven't got to go out looking for wood, but if I'm out travelling, I will cook on wood, and I will use wood with all of these, with the camp ovens. I will do that because it's a easier and cheaper fuel. But at the end of the day, big camp oven, put the meat in there. Great idea. Now this is my own personal choice, and this is how I control everything. But your problem with fire starting, I had the same drama. Great bit of gear, you haven't got to have matches, you haven't got to do anything, and it's going. Great bit of gear, I find. But anyhow, that's all right. That's for Buck. And I agree with you. This Chinese thing, and to my not understanding why we have to be suffered with this, but this one here is made in China, and so is this camp oven here. There's nothing I can do about that. It's just the way it is today. Maybe things will change in time, but you are right. When we buy something, if it's made in China and we have to have it, well, that's what we have to do. It's not something we will like and want to do, especially in some of the today what the Chinese are saying about us and pointing their finger at our country. This is our country, not theirs. And if we choose not to buy stuff off them, we don't want to buy it. If we want to find out where coronavirus come from, then that is our prerogative. We should be able to do that, because they'd be asking the same question from us. If the shoe was on the other foot, they would be asking us about everything. All right, a couple of things that you need to know with heat beads. The best way to get them hot, now I've got heat beads in this thing here, because we've got two camp ovens. We've got this camp oven and that camp oven, so we're going to need a lot of heat beads for the top because they're ovens. Right, make sure I don't burn myself. This is the best thing. You've seen me talk about these before. These are called heat bead chimneys. Look, they are worth their weight in gold. They're really good. I've got heat beads there at the moment in this one that are just, they are burning, but not as good as what they burn in there. They really do get hot. I thought Redheads used to be an Australian company, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong with that. But these ones here are made in the UK. I'm quite happy to use those ones. So you're going to go over to Bunnings, and you can buy as many of these as you want, and you don't have to suffer the Chinese ones. And believe it or not, they're a lot bigger. You don't get as many, but they're a lot bigger. So they're worthwhile having. I believe anyhow, and it's not Chinese. It is made in the UK. Like I said, I brought this one today. It is made in China, and that one there is made in China. There's not a great deal I can do about that. But I've got to take my hat off, and a shout out to Josh up at BCF. I went up there this afternoon and I said, I'm going to buy another camp oven because we're going to do a shoot tonight on camp oven cooking, because we've got people coming tonight, and I'm supposed to be cooking for him, and I want to get this done before we lose light. And I said to him, I said, it's about time that I replace my hook. Now this hook, this one here, this is the one that I said on a couple of videos that I would replace because of this T-bar here. This T-bar actually stops, when you pick this up, it stops that from tipping over and putting ashes in your food, which is a far better idea than what I've got. I've just got the hook part, just that hook part. So that means things could happen, which you don't want to happen because that would bugger up what you're trying to achieve. So a shout out to Josh. What happened was I went to go and buy this thing, and I looked up where they hang up, and there was none there. And I was looking around, and I knew that I was set up to do this afternoon. So I went and seen him, and I said, mate, I need one of those handles with the hook on the end of it for lifting the lids off the camp ovens. And he said, well, we'll go and have a look. So anyhow, he went back to his computer, and he had a number with him, and typed that in there, and he come back and he said, there's 5 here. There's got to be 5 here somewhere. So he said, we've been inundated with people with camping gear in the last week or so because everybody knows that they can go camping next week, and they've been buying a bit. So all right, anyhow, Josh come back, opened the drawer up, and here they were in with all the gas stuff. Yep, tops for you, Josh. Thank you very much, because otherwise I really didn't want to do this tonight without this, just to let people know how that little bit of steel there makes so much difference to getting a lid off a camp oven. Okay, so tonight we're doing a leg of lamb and veggies. Veggies in this one here. The reason I wanted one like this is because when we are able to go away and do this documentary in Queensland, we'd like to be able to make bread in this one here. I've tried to make it in this one. It's too big and it's just not real good for what I'm trying to do. But that's my preference, not yours. If you decide you only want one camp oven, then you only want one camp oven. So really, at the end of the day, this thing here was I bought that over at Bunnings. It was fairly expensive. It was $90. I thought, it was a bit expensive, and it's only ever been a fire pit. I've never worked out what I could use it for, but I've worked out tonight what I can use it for. This will be great for doing camp ovens. So anyhow, I'm going to start cooking, and probably in the middle of it, I may be able to make another, all depends what the light's like their campers, but hopefully the light will be good. I've got a light up there that I can probably fall back onto, but let's see how we go. And it should be good, it should be really good. People that are coming tonight like my cooking, and we'll do very well. But at the end of the day, I agree with you, Buck. If we have to buy it, and it's Chinese, we have to buy it. Like, that's only silliness to think that we can stop buying everything, because we can't. As for food, no, I won't do it. I won't buy Chinese-made food, because this country of ours rides around on the back of the farmer. That farmer was, when the first fleet come out here, they were the first thing they did, agriculture. So we owe it to all the farmers in Australia to get behind them and say, no more Chinese food. I don't care how much it costs. I went to go and buy peanut butter the other day, and it was made in China. So I paid an extra $2.25 to buy Bega peanut butter that it was guaranteed to be made in Australia. That's the difference we can make. That's how we can make change when it comes to food. Let's buy food, let's buy eggs, let's buy whatever we need to buy. And if it's Australian ingredients, and if the company is owned by Chinese, there's not much we can do about that. But we can still get behind our farmer and make sure that we buy Australian stuff, whether it comes from Woolies, whether it comes from Coles, whether it comes from Aldi, whether it comes from wherever. If it's Australian ingredients made by a Chinese-owned company, then that is better than buying Chinese-made food. But I agree with you, Buck. they just cannot get away with this, threatening us in our country. This is our country, not theirs. As much as they'd like it to be their country, it's not. It's ours. But anyhow, enough of like that. As words were always put, jibber jabber. That's what Mr. Buck says every time when he starts to waffle on a bit too much. But anyhow, hopefully you can get a little bit of an idea and some enjoyment out of this. But at the end of the day, Jimmy from Hairy Campers, don't forget to hit the like button if you like it, and subscribe if that's what you want to do. But at the end of the day, I'll see if I can get the camera to work in this light, and if it does, I'll do a couple more shout outs. Okay, thank you.